Hello there, it's Ilja, and once again we continue with my top 50 of all time. And today we're talking about 30 to 21. So let's just go to the list. My number 30 is a card game which came out, I think it was last year, 2015, yes. And it's a game about a Greek mythology, but the theme is not really like, it's rather an abstract game at some point. And that's Elysium. Elysium has a really interesting card drafting mechanism where you basically picking cards from the center by using your columns. And the cool part of that is that the cards have these column symbols, particular symbols, like there are 4 different colors of columns, and they have these symbols. For example, in order to get the card, I need a green column on my board, like unused green column. But in order to take the card, I do not need to use that green column. I just need to have it, which is really cool, which makes you think what columns will you use in order to get the cards, in order to get the future card and so on. It's like rather messing up right now the description of it, but it's a really cool mechanic. The other cool mechanic is that you're building up your tableau, but you score points which will go into your Elysium, like under the player mat, which is your Elysium, where you want to collect sets of either different gods or the families. So this is like a Greek mythology, you have different god decks, so there. And I like how at some point you need to think of, if I need this card right now in my gameplay, in my tableau, or will I put it in Elysium for it to score? It's like a similar mechanism to Valley of the Kings, where also either I use it or I put it in the score pile where I cannot use it anymore. And it becomes a strategic choice and sometimes a tactical choice as well. And there's only a certain number of actions you're gonna number of actions for that particular Elysium action that you're gonna get. And yeah, you just need to outsmart your opponents, and you just think really strategically in this game, and sometimes tactically of what cards are you picking at the points, and what cards you should take away from your opponents and so on. So that's a really cool card drafting, set collection, tableau building game with 8 different artists who have done all the cards for this game. I'm really hoping maybe for an expansion, for some more content for Elysium. I would really love to see it. It's a really cool game. I like beautiful card games I like mythology. So that's on the right spot. Really cool game, Elysium, my number 30. My number 29 is a economy game. Yeah, that's weird again, you know. And it's the game I didn't believe in for a long time, and neither did Alina. But like, she was thinking about this game much more, or maybe she even believed in that game, but not me. And that's Stockpile. And Stockpile is a rather simple stock marketing game where basically you want to buy low and sell high and get the most money at the end of the game. And I like how the stock market works there. As you have like you know a part of information, like you know one company for sure, which that will change its stock in one or the other way, lower or higher. The stock price, but you also have some information on the board which is open to every player. So you know a part of information, how the stocks will go. But other players know some other information and so on. So it's a little bit of that gambling, a little bit of that outguessing your opponents, because you see their actions as well. You see what cards they are trying to get, you know, and maybe are they bluffing, or do they know the information that I don't know? So should I grab them myself and so on, and how much should I pay for these cards in order for them to pay off for me in the later turn, so I can get more money out of that. So it's a really cool aspect. And we have the expansion, Continuing Corruptions, where the stock market changes are presented now in dice. It's a module there where you roll dice, and it's much more different and variable than in the base game. We haven't tried the expansion yet, so I really want to try it. And I like the cool special abilities of different persona cards that you get at the beginning of the game, and just the simplicity of the game, simplicity of the rules, where you bid for the cards, you get them, and then now you use them for a sort of set collection aspect and for selling, buying low and high. So that's the whole game. But I don't know why, and the Disney art on it, it's just a really cool one, which I didn't believe at all. So it surprised me quite a lot how much I like this game. It's my number 29 Stockpile. So my number 28 is a cooperative game, and we do not play many cooperative games for now, because we like competitive games much more. But this one has a rich story, has a rich theme, and it's a Euro type cooperative game, and that's Robinson Crusoe. And Robinson Crusoe is a game about Robinson Crusoe surviving on an island, and there are different scenarios that you are going through, and you're trying to collect resources. You're exploring the island, and depends on what the scenario. Are you fighting the Hannibals, or are you escaping the islands because the volcano will destroy the island, and so on? Or are you just trying to build a big fire in order for the passing ship to basically notice you and get you on board? So that's the whole thing. But this game is harsh. In order to get the food, you need to get hunting, need to go hunting. But if you go just hunt with your bare hands, so you will get hurt, and you will lose life, or let's say life points, health points. And in order to fight or hunt more efficiently, you need to build tools. But in order to build that tool, you need to have that type of terrain, because in that type of terrain you can find the resource in order to build the tool, and so on. So there's so many connections. And one of the coolest parts is that it's a worker placement where we decide together, and we don't have a problem of a alpha gamer telling us what we have to do, because each one of us has their own discs. And if I don't want to go do that, sorry, I will go into other spot. That's my disc, that's my decision. But of course, I like the cooperative part where we all discuss, so let's go hunting together, because if we go hunting together, we have more possibility for killing the animal and getting skins and getting meat that we can eat later, and so on. And that's really cool. And the other cool part are the sort of exploration cards, the event cards. So whenever you do an action, something might happen to you when you go to explore, or when you build tools, something might happen to you. And you will pull the card. There is the upper text and the lower text, and it's like a echo mechanic, I would say, where at some point, you get the upper text for now. And what we do, normally you wouldn't do that. There's nothing in the rule set talking about that. But we cover the lower part of the card, so we don't know what will happen later. We just know the name of the card, we know the upper part. You read the upper part, you either, there's for example a choice, will you, there's a creature in the bushes, will you attack that creature or will you let that creature go? And you make a decision. For example, you make a decision, let it go, then you will just discard the card. Or you make a decision, I will attack that creature. Let's say you picked that you attack that creature, and then you will shuffle that card into main event deck. And at some point, that card may come up telling that, and then there will be the bottom part. The bottom part is for the main event deck. And it will tell you that, while you were attacking that creature went angry and like came the other night and destroyed the whole camp. You know, I'm just coming up with something, but the thing is that it's an immersive story on these cards as well, like a legacy style thing there, an echo style thing there. And I strongly recommend for you as well that if you play Robinson Crusoe, if you haven't played and you will play, for example, after me babbling about the game, whenever you take these cards, the action cards, whatever they are, the event cards, cover the bottom part so you don't know exactly what will happen, but in your mind you will have like there is logic, you know. There's logic. If I go attack a creature with big glowing red eyes, something will happen to me, you know. And I like that. So that's Robinson Crusoe. I was babbling about that one quite long. It's 28. So my number 27 is a heavy Euro game. Wow, heavy Euro game in my list, like why? But the thing is that I saw this game in a Kickstarter at some point, and I really like the theming of this game. And it's magicians, but it's not a wizard type of magicians, you know. It's a like magicians, like the film called Now You See Me, if you know that film. It's all about you preparing the tricks, magician tricks, black magic tricks, and then showing them off in the theater. And there is a little bit of that magical power thing there with the crystals, but it's a really small part. Mostly it's a Victorian times magician theatrical thing there. And that's Trickerion Legends of Illusion. And in Trickerion Legends of Illusion, you are a magician, you hire assistants, you hire engineers who will help you prepare the tricks. The cool part of this game is that even though the rules are quite complex, for me everything feels logical. But it's still really hard to do everything. Like in order to do the trick on a Saturday night in a theater, there's that thing, the thematical part that you need to announce that you're going to do a trick on a particular day in theater. In order to do that, you need, first of all, to get the blueprint for that trick. So let's say you have a blueprint. Now you need to get the resources, the components to do the trick. In order to get the components, you need to go to the market to buy them. Maybe there aren't components in the market that you need, so you need to order them for the future turn. So it's that sort of a chain reaction thing where you're trying to get different resources, components at some point. And when you get these components, you need to use the components to prepare the trick. And then you will go to the theater and there you will do the trick. And you know, it's really cool. It's a chain reaction thing there with how you do like your whole day or how you prepare, like how you prepare the trick from the beginning to basically the theater itself. And I like that part. And we played with the expansion as well. The base game is fine, you know, it's fine. When we played with the expansion, it was much cooler because you have this sort of a prophecy thing, prophecy tokens, where the tokens tell you what will happen in the future turns, what will change in the future turns, which is really cool. You can prepare for that. We played a two-player variant, Duel of Magicians. It was wonderful because in Duel of Magicians, not all spots will be available for you during the turn. And the availability of spots will change in course of every round, you know, and it's really cool. You need to be more tactical in a two-player game, but the cool thing is that you know what spots will be unavailable next turn in advance, which also give you strategical choices how to prepare each of your turns, you know. And it's a really cool game. It's a heavy Euro. I really want to play it more. I'm so stoked about it. I so much want to play this game. Alina is not a big fan of this game, although she will play it with me, I hope. at least once more. So I really want to play this game. Trickerion, Legends of Illusion, all this immersive theme, like the action selection system, action allowance system, point allowance system, where you have cards. These are the actions you choose. Basically like a programming game where you program your actions and then you do them, and a little bit of that outguessing your opponents, so on. So it's just so cool. Trickerion, Legends of Illusion. It's my number 27. My number 26 is a much lighter game, and it's a cooperative game, but it's a game I was babbling about a long time ago. The game that I would say it may sound egoistic, but it's the game that we as Würfel Reviews brought to Estonia. We are the ones, and that's Mysterium. It was at the time where we, I ordered the copy from Portal Games, and I think it was probably the only copy in Estonia that basically we got. And there was a winter camp coming up in Estonia, so we went to the winter camp, and I played this game with few people, and they all liked it, and they showed this game to other people, and so on and so on. That's chain reaction of people showing the game to each other, and it was a hit in the winter camp, and people started wondering and asking us where to get the game. And I said, you can get the game from Poland, but the shipping costs are really high, and you need to pay quite a lot for that game. I would just whatever, I will pay because I really want to get this game. So, but we thought about one thing. If we contact Portal Games and ask them if they can give us, for example, 10 copies or 15 copies for much better price, and we will contact our fellow gamers who maybe want the copy. So we basically organized a bulk order of Mysterium straight from Portal Games. We got a really good price for that, and everyone was really happy about that. So we brought quite a few copies of Mysterium, and basically it was Alina. Big thanks to her for doing all that. She was in contact with Portal all the time, so we could do a bulk order from them and have the copies for our fellow gamers in Estonia. So that's the story. But the game itself, now as we have the new Asmodee version, because we wanted to get the expansion, and I really like the Xavier Colette's artwork. The Mysterium itself is that one player is playing the ghost and other players are investigators. And I like both parts. I like the part where the ghost is silent. He talks through these Dixit-like strange cards, and that's really cool part of the game. And the other cool part is that investigators needs to understand the logic of the ghost. And sometimes people click, sometimes not. It's sometimes after the game we discuss why did you give us this card? And he explains, it's logical, you see this and this and this, and we're like, no, it's not. And there is that interaction between players after the game as well, which becomes really much fun, because you need to figure out how the other person thinks. And maybe next time when we play with the same person, when he's the ghost again, we will understand him much more, his logic much more. So, but this game needs expansions, of course, in order to stay fresh for a longer time. But Mysterium is a really cool cooperative game, one of the best family style, easy cooperative games. Just a really cool game. Number 26, Mysterium. Number 25 is a two-player game. And we play a lot of two-player games, and we play a lot of games as a two-player and two-player variants and so on with Alina. But this game is strictly for two players, and its parent, Seven Wonders, was okay for us at most, whatever. But I'm talking about Seven Wonders Duel, of course. Seven Wonders Duel is an excellent, fast, tactical and strategical card game. I like the aspect of drafting cards from the center, and I like the aspect that some cards are open, some cards are face down, And in order, like for example, if you take a particular cards, the other cards will be revealed for your opponent to take, and you have these choices. You need to get your opponent to take cards that you don't need, so he can reveal better cards for you and so on. So it's a really cool part of that choices, you know. There's not much to say about it. It's still seven wonders. You collect symbols, you collect victory points, you collect resources in order to get the seven wonders build, you know, your wonders build and so on. The links of the cards, like if I have this particular card, I can take this card as well. I like that as well. So it's just a lot of fun in a small box, and where you have different winning conditions. You have military winning condition. If you have enough symbols, you will basically win by military, or win by science if you have 6 out of 7 symbols. Or sorry, 7 out of 8, whatever, but some particular number of different science symbols. Or you end the game and then count the points, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. It's so engaging and so fast. It's just a really cool game with really fast turns. And sometimes you think more, but normally it's a really fast game. It's 7 Wonders Duel. Compared to its parent 7 Wonders, it's a superior game. It's a great game, 2-player game. One of the best out there. So that's 7 Wonders Duel. Number 24 is a city building game. And let me tell you upfront, it's not Suburbia. Yes. I'm not a fan of Suburbia because of one another game, spoiler. Yeah, let me see here. Yes, small spoiler, yeah. But Suburbia is a cool game. But the game I want to mention is more, I would say, towards families. It's a lighter game, and it's Quadropolis. Quadropolis is one of the newest games. It's a 2016 game. I'm already messing up all the games between 2015 and 2016 because just so many games coming out all the time. But Quadropolis is a city building game where you're trying to build like buildings in the right spots and near each other, so they could score points out of each other. So that's basically it. The cool aspect of it is that you have the central board where you pick tiles, you draft tiles from. And in order to do that, you will put the architects down. And the architects are the numbers. So for example, if I put it's like a grid, you know. If I put the architect number 4 on this side, it means that I take the tile 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th tile from that row over there, and then I have to put it on my player mat where I build up the city, on a district or on a spot, particular spot number 4, which means like the architect is connected to my player mat and the numbers or like grid numbers on my player mat. And that's a really cool aspect of the game where you need to choose. So sometimes you have the choice to get this tile in with the architect number 4 or get this tile from another spot in with the architect number 2, which is really cool. And you need to think where you want to build it there. Sometimes you have limited choices and you need to figure out what you want to do out of these limited choices. It's just really cool. We have the review of the game. So go check out my thoughts about the game and Alina's thoughts about the game if you want to know more. But it's a wonderful game that came out this year. It might be in my top 10 of 2016 when we do that probably in January, February. So go check it out. It's a really cool city building game on a lighter side, and play expert mode. Just play, if you play with non-gamers like family or children, yeah, you can play normal mode. If you're gamers, play expert mode. Like normal mode, forget that. Play expert mode. That's it. So, number 24 was Quadropolis. Number 23 is a flicking game. And I think maybe you have already figured out, although Yeah, it's not like a really flicking game, it's a dexterity game. But I'm talking about flicking game, and that's Catacombs. And it's a third edition, the newer edition of Catacombs. And Catacombs is a dungeon crawler flicking game where one of you plays the Overlord and the other players play heroes. And we have played it with Alina like as a two-player game where I control all four heroes, and I like that quite much here because it's just flicking, you know. But the heroes have special abilities, and her Overlord has lots of minions with really cool special abilities as well. You're not flicking only the heroes themselves. Some heroes have arrows or fireballs or whatever that they flick smaller. And there are obstacles on the board, and you need to go through the dungeon. You need to fight different minions. You will collect money from defeating minions, you as heroes. Then you will find the shop. In the shop you will buy some equipment, some potions maybe, and something else. And then you fight another dungeon full of minions. And after that, you will, if you will still survive, sorry, you will end up fighting with the boss. And the boss is really, I would say, really strong. It's not like Alina knows how to flick the wooden discs that well. We're both flicking okay at most, but it's really hard to defeat the boss because the boss has so many cool abilities. This Overlord, you know, the main pawn there. But the heroes have cool abilities, and you know, as a hero player, you need to be really strategical when and where you use some of your abilities, because they can be once per game or once per round. You know, it's really important how you distribute. And of course, if you flick much better than we do, you will do much better than we do. So yeah, that's what I like about this one. It doesn't feel just an abstract flicking game. It does feel like a dungeon crawler game with flicking aspect, and it's a lot of fun. So that's Catacombs, number 23. Sorry. Number 22 is another dungeon crawler game, and we normally do not really go into dungeon crawl thing. They're just not our style. It's Merry Thrash normally, fighting monsters, whatever. But if you fight cockroaches, you fight rats, whatever, you fight centipedes and spiders, then it's cute, it's much cooler. And I'm talking about Mice and Mystics. And Mice and Mystics has an immersive story, has immersive theme where you as mice go and explore the story itself. And you feel like these mice, you feel like these heroes which have special abilities. They can progress, they can get some other special things there, they can find some items that will help them go through some things, and it's really thematic how it's all done, and how the tiles are done, and how you go through not really the dungeons but the cellars and so on. You go in the kitchen and you fight the cat because you're mice and the cat really wants to eat you. That's the thing, you know. And so many high five moments, so many sad moments when you lose and you feel like I really wanted them to survive, but it's a rather family friendly game. It's just, if you lose, just starts from that chapter all over again. So, and play it more. It has a little bit clunky rules there, I would tell you. And we do some of the house rules regarding the difficulty of the game, so we don't advance the timer each time somebody dies, because we want to go through the story, not to play a really difficult game. So I would encourage you, it's very fine to do all the house rules. We asked Jerry Hawthorne, the designer of the game, if it's alright, if he thinks it's alright. He said it's very much alright to do the house ruling if you enjoy the game that way. I mean, the house rules not to change the core of the game itself, but to change a little bit of the difficulty of the game. So we just want to go through the story. We haven't played it in a while, and we still have to play the first expansion, the second expansion, but we still have it in our collection, near our hearts, and it's a really cool, immersive story. It's Mice and Mystics. We have painted miniatures, so lovely game. That's Mice and Mystics, number 22. Number 21 is a game that is a two-player game. It's a Metagot release. Of course, once again, one of our favorite, most favorite designers. It's our favorite designer, Bruno Catala. He's our favorite designer, to be honest. It's Bruno Catala and Bruno Faiduti. There's another game that I like, is like made by them that we have in our collection, but this is Raptor. And Raptor is a two-player game where you have that role selection aspect, and one of you plays the scientist and the other player plays the raptor and her babies. And the raptor and her babies try to escape, and the scientist try to capture babies or put Mama Raptor to sleep completely. That's although selecting cards as actions which are basically the numbers and some special actions on the cards, which may sound abstract, it's still a very thematic game. You can put the forest on fire and cut the road for Mama Raptor to escape, but then Mama Raptor can put the fire out, you know, and blow it out. Scientists can ride on a truck, like sort of, there's no truck miniature or something like that, but the miniatures are cool. They're all different shape, and the raptor miniatures are cool as well, and baby raptors and so on. You have quite a lot of choices what you can do on your turn. Quite a few choices what you can do as basic actions, and the cards themselves are special actions. And I like the outguessing aspect. It's the core of outguessing. It's Bruno Faiduti, basically part of the game, where the numbers are from 1 to 9 and special action on the card. So if like you both select a card and then reveal, whoever has the lowest number will get the action on the card. Whoever has the higher number will get the difference between the numbers on the card. So for example, if Alina puts number 1 and I put number 9 and we reveal, she will get 1 special action, which is cool, but I will get 8 basic actions, which is a lot. So we need to outguess your opponent, need to be smart in order not to get caught into that situation, you know. So that's really cool, and it's also an immersive theme of getting the raptor or escaping with your babies as a raptor. We have the review of this game, so go check out our review if you want to know a little bit more about this game. It's a lovely game. I know that one of our viewers, Clive, has seen our review, and after that he bought the game and he said he loves the game. So thank you very much for believing in our suggestion. I hope the others believe too. It's a really strong two-player game, one of the best, if not, let me see for a moment if it's yeah, for a pure two-player game, it's like we have some games that we play as two-player, but they are not, but they are like, for example, 2 to 4. But for a pure two-player game, it's the highest on my top 50. So for me, it's the best pure two-player game out there, Raptor. So that's it for today. I was babbling quite a lot once again, but there are so many cool games that I want to talk about all the time, and just so much fun talking about them and remembering them as well, and figuring out that I want to play them all now, you know. Really cool feel of that. So don't forget to share and subscribe to our channel, to this video. Also visit our blog, or I mean not the blog, the guild. Sorry, I want to say the guild, Würfel reviews on BGG. The link is in the description. Go visit our guild and do some discussions there, or some random stuff, whatever you want. Or put the comments in the comment section below. What are your favorite games as a two-player game, or dungeon crawler, or whatever? Just tell me. I want to see a lot of comments and feedback from you. So thank you very much for watching, and we see you next time, where we talk about 20 to 11. And then we will go to mine and Alina's ultimate top 10 of all time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.